Josh Barnett, who, of course, is taking on Daniel Cormier this Saturday night in the finale of the Strikeforce Grand Prix. What did it start about 3 years ago? When did that thing start?
Yeah, lo and behold, it was 20 years ago. Abraham Lincoln gave his inaugural address and started the Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix at the same time.
My goodness. Really, it's been a long time coming. You beat Sergey Karatanov, who I always want to call Karitnov.
Yeah.
You talk about that. You took Brett Rogers out.
Sugary Carrot Top. I beat him.
Took Brett Rogers out in the first round.
Yeah.
What do you make of Daniel as an opponent? I mean, first and foremost, he wasn't even in this initially. Came in as a replacement for Overeem. But what do you make of him as an opponent?
I would make of him out of clay, probably. I mean, there's no biblical reference in that. I mean, just nothing religious about it. It's just, I think that would be a good medium.
Yeah. For a Daniel.
For a Daniel Cormier.
Right. Well,
or you know what? Cormier sounds like kind of like potpourri. He'd make a nice little like sort of like one of those Chia.Pet kind of things, right. But you fill it full of potpourri. It keeps your house smelling well.
Nice. Well, you could chia his fro a little bit too, right?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you could have dual chia/potpourri.
Chia, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. You kind of freshen up the room. Maybe put it in the locker room where all your sweaty gear is.
Chia.
What kind of opponent will Potpourri Daniel Cormier be Saturday night? You know, a lot of people are favoring you. He will be a refreshing change, a nice fresh wind in the cage.
A slight hint of cinnamon.
People are saying
cocoa butter.
Well, you know, if he's a brother, he's got the cocoa butter somewhere.
You know what? I commend Daniel. He is not ashy one.
No, good.
No.
There's some ashy fighters I've had to call on that. You know that.
Maurice Smith has the nastiest, ashiest feet ever.
I busted King Mo on it once, too. His were not good.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look. Not a good look. But Daniel Cormier is, you are favored to beat him. Most people are saying that. But it's not going to be easy. The guy's an Olympic wrestler. The guy's a national champion wrestler before that. So how do you see your styles matching up in there?
I think that our styles got like a really good matchup on one of the online dating sites.
You really?
Yeah, no, they've been talking for a little while, and I think it would be a very harmonious relationship.
Are you ready to meet in person?
Yeah, no, I mean, I sat my style down and talked to him, and I said, it's nut up or shut up if you want to get your nut out, so you gotta...
Right.
You know, glory favors the bold.
And is your style the type that will go out there and get a little touchy-feely right away, or is your style going to sort of lay back
and let
the other style come to you?
My style is a little perceptive, plays little mind games. I mean, it's not negging and stuff the whole time, but it's tricky. You know, you think it's going one direction, it cuts back the other. You got to keep them thinking.
And the other styles profile, has they intimated anything in terms of their vibe, like how they're going to be about you? You think they're the type that's going to dance around you a little bit, or are they going to go and try to take you down right away and get you get a little ground and pound in there right away?
They seem pretty easy. There's a lot of pictures of their cleavage.
And that, of course, defines. Really? Is that all it takes?
I mean, of all things, if that's what you want to be known for.
Do you think the profile listed their true height, is the question?
No. You know what, but that's pretty typical. Weight's usually off, too.
Weight is always off.
Yeah.
You're looking good. What weight are you coming into this fight?
623 pounds.
And that's actually a pretty good weight for you, I think.
No, I mean, it's pretty svelte. It's been difficult trying to get around on hardwood floors without breaking them.
Yeah.
It's just things that come with the territory. But something can be said for that kind of density.
Dense you are, my friend. No, this will be fun.
She says this will be fun. It seems like more of a reassurance to herself and perhaps her audience. I'm
also saying this fight is going to be fun.
Oh, yes.
Regardless of the style.
For one of us.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because... You know, when the brackets first came out...
Sprockets?
Now is the time of sprockets when we dance. When the brackets first came out, it looked very weighted in your favor in terms of most people.
Well, it's 623 pounds. It's a lot of weight.
Going to put a lot of weight in the bracket.
Yeah, it's like a teeter-totter sort of dips it over onto my side.
A lot of people were saying that was initiated to try to get the ultimate Fedor Josh Barnett fight that everybody wanted. You definitely did what I think was expected of you in your brackets. The other brackets went a little wonky.
Yeah.
Fedor lost first round.
Pear-shaped.
Yeah, a little odd. But I mean, did any of the guys give you any trouble leading up to this? Is this how you thought it would go, just smooth sailing all the way to the end?
I mean, yeah, there was trouble.
Yeah.
There's always a little bit of trouble. I've had like errant prostitutes sent to my room at 4 a.m. in the morning. I think that's a Russian tactic.
Is that?
You know, I couldn't get back my car out one day because there was a bunch of tires packed behind it. And I think we know somebody that has some ties to some tire services. Brett Rogers. Not very funny.
Rogers.
But all right, you know, whatever.
Funny.
Yeah.
Prank. Bad prank. They didn't give you any trouble. Brett was a KO in the first?
Side choke.
Oh, choke. You choked them both. Actually, you subbed them both. So Daniel Cormier, though, is, I believe...
Do you even watch my fights?
I do watch your fights, but they were so long ago.
Well, I mean, you're no stranger to things that are old.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm just saying, you're a fan of nostalgia.
I am a fan of nostalgia. Where are you going with this?
I don't know, that dog tag.
Isn't this funny? This is an MMA Heat dog tag that I got made for me by this guy down in Albuquerque, New Mexico, who was working at a mall, and he's like, oh, I got a laser thingy, so he cut it for me. It's pretty sweet. And I wear it with a sense of irony, Josh.
Do you?
I do.
It doesn't look like it's made of iron.
So, Josh, everybody wants to know if when you win this tournament, everybody keeps talking about you going back to the UFC. And I know you've been asked this a million times.
Old shit already.
See, exactly. Speaking of nostalgia, is that something that you would want? I have to ask.
Want it all.
I want it all.
I want it now. Yeah.
But you know, some people don't want to fight in the UFC.
I know, it gives them a sheer heart attack.
Yeah. Sheer heart attack. Oh my God. Here we go. Here we go. Do you know I'm actually reading the greatest book right now on metal? Have you ever read Fargo Rock City?
I have not.
It's by Chuck Klosterman. Who this book? Seriously, Josh?
Unpaid advertisement.
No, it is. You should read it. The guy he's a pop culture writer and stuff.
Okay.
But the book
in
is
Fargo. He wouldn't have much else.
Right,
to do.
but that's the whole thing. Is it's a story. It's kind of part music criticism and part autobiography of his initiation into the world of metal and rock. And it's fantastic. It's little essays, and he'll talk about the date a certain album came out and why this band is metal and why this band isn't metal, and it's actually really, really, really entertaining. You should definitely get it. Fargo Rock City. And Wade can attest to this. I'll be reading this thing cracking up because if you know all the references and they're talking about the video age and this and that, but why Def Leppard sucks and why Motley Crue is better. Well, that might have been my own personal.
I'd say Motley Crue as a whole is better, but Leppard has some. Like that Pyromania has some really rockin' songs on it. A couple of them.
Right, but Def Leppard to me was just cheesy, and it was too arena rocky, and there wasn't anything. I didn't feel anything with that. Like, I've seen Motley Crue in concert, and they tore it up. Yeah. I mean, they were fantastic, but I don't feel like I would have any fun at a Def Leppard concert.
Well, I don't know about that, but Motley Crue comes from the down and dirty streets of Sunset Strip. And they've got that house that they all used to live in. I mean, there is some serious, gnarly rock and roll, stuff of legends.
Of course. Well, this is part of what this guy's book is about. I'm telling you, it's a really,
hey, when it comes to rock,
great
at the end of the day, man, news of the world is that they want sex, drugs, and rock and roll and craziness, and Def Leppard is more clean cut, I think, than that. A little more pop, but I will say that stuff like Rock of Ages is definitely legit. And Foolin', but if you
Foolin' sucks.
Foolin's a great song. Sorry, it is. I didn't say it was great and say all the songwriting of it or the lyrical content or it's got a great beat. It's well constructed.
All right, where do you stand?
Did you catch my other Queen reference right there and there?
I did. Where is it? Yes. I want to ask you about Van Halen, though.
Van Halen, yeah.
Where do you stand on Van Halen?
Lee Roth before? Yes.
Yes.
Lee Roth after Lee Roth? No.
But Van Halen as one of the greatest sort of rock bands at the time. I'm talking the best of Van Halen. Would you say that they were better than a lot of other bands? I think so.
Yes, I would agree with that. For me, music-wise, I would contend early 70s, early 80s Aerosmith. Yeah. Against Van Halen.
So back in the saddle type.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude looks like a lady.
Attic? No, right.
No. Sorry. I mean,
Loving an elevator.
I'm not saying that they're doing stuff that I could do better necessarily, and they made tons of money off of it, and hooray for Stephen and Joe and all them. They deserve it.
I'm from Boston, so Aerosmith is kind of special.
No, we're talking Toys in the Attic.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. That's amazing rock and roll. That's great. The original Sweet Emotion, which I love what that song's about. Which is that's pretty rad. Completely get it.
Yeah.
That could vie with Van Halen. Also, I would say AC/DC with Bon Scott.
Yeah, but
it's not as fun. AC/DC's not as fun as Van Halen. Van Halen's got that fun quotient that a lot of bands don't have.
And well, here's the thing in that book anyway, he's talking about how David Lee Roth like parted with the videos and parted with the band, is that he was kind of in on the joke. There was like a wink wink, and you'd laugh at David Lee Roth in videos. You'd laugh with him, not at him. And some of these other guys that would make these cheesy videos like Poison and some of these guys, you were totally laughing at them. Yes. Right, exactly. And which is why David Lee Roth is much better than all these guys, which I completely agree with.
Yes.
Completely agree with. Getting to AC/DC, Bon Scott, AC/DC, yes, not as fun as
not fun, not like, hey, it's fun. Fun and like, we're all drunk as shit.
Right.
You know, I don't know who she is, and I don't know why that guy doesn't have pants, but
yeah.
I'm glad they're here.
But they're a band that kept going. I thought still stayed consistently good, though. There's no way. Back in Black is one of the greatest albums of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
I don't hate. It's just that I love Bon Scott.
Yeah.
That to me is that AC/DC is what I love. That if for all the Brian, I forget his name, the newer singer.
Yeah.
For all the songs with him,
bad hair, and that's why he always has the big head.
I've got like maybe barely a handful on my iPod.
Okay.
Bon Scott library, lots.
Really? See, because for me, one of my for Rock and Rolling Noise Pollution is like one of my favorite like warm up songs.
No, I got that as a song.
Yeah,
but that doesn't compare to say If You Want Blood.
Okay.
That. I got my SCCA, or qualified for my SCCA novice road racing license.
Yeah.
I jumped in my car. I won a 40-minute race amongst all the classmates out there at Performance in Seattle, in the rain at that, which is pretty gnarly when you're 120 miles an hour on somebody's bumper looking to pass them, and all you can see is a cloud, just water all up in your face, and you're just thinking, if I see red, that means brake lights, I'll get around.
I'll just hydroplane around.
Well, best you can. So we're doing that, and I get in my Mustang, hit my iPod. I turn the car on, hit my iPod, and that's the first song that comes on. I'm like, this is great as I drive off into the sunset.
Nice. Well, I have to admit, I had Dirty Deeds on the other day, and I was singing the crap out of it. That song is genius.
Yes.
So tell me how you get...
Somewhat of a personal lifestyle choice for me.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Nice. How do you go from that, though? I don't understand the goat whore. I don't know goat whore. I have not heard goat whore songs. But you're way into some pretty serious radical metal. So tell me how you go from something like AC/DC to goat whore.
You know what? Well, there's a lot of foundation in all of metal and your simple blues riffs, and that carries on. But they've just taken it all to a whole different level. And people loved Jimi Hendrix. When he was out there making his guitar make crazy weird noises for 45 minutes long on stage. And you go back and you listen to that kind of stuff, and I go, I would have had to have been on acid.
Exactly. That's my point.
For that to have been rad.
Acid. Right.
But God rest his soul, and he's a Seattleite. I love the man, and I loved his music. But he was creating, and he was taking things where I hadn't been taken before.
Right.
And as with Led Zeppelin, as then again with Judas Priest and Maiden, and then Slayer and Metallica, Megadeth.
Right.
And then again to say Napalm Death and those guys starting, going from this hardcore punk to something faster and crazier and more aggro, more aggressive, and just trying to see how far you could push it. And then you come to something like Goat Whore, which is got these elements of this black metal sound. It's heavy and it's fast, and there's a lot of blast beats, but then you've got a lot of this rock and roll drumming influences in there, along with, if you just listen to it, all you probably just hear, but if you listen to enough of the music, you can hear how his drumming, how his fills, how everything. Zach is an amazing drummer, or the riffage from Sammy and James, and how there's some melody to it, there's a lot of groove into it.
Right.
And with anything, I think you got to get accustomed to it. If you were in 1940 whatever, and Chuck Berry came on, and you're already 40 years old, you're like, this isn't Benny Goodman. This is terrible. This is the end of all times. Our kids are going to be total miscreants. There's nothing more. But that today is nothing.
See, some of the musicality of that kind of thing, I can appreciate a little more. But I can't kind of get down with that kind of singing. Like, I don't know that they do that. I'm not accusing them of that because I don't.
No,
I
I'd say they do far better than that.
I don't listen to Goatwhore. I'm sorry, but that's the
no.
thing.
But it's an extreme expression.
And that's not to say that some of the greatest punk guys were great singers or anything like that. I mean,
they absolutely weren't.
Exactly.
And that's part of the whole thing was that this is music that we can make, and it doesn't matter how good we are or aren't. We're going to make it.
Do you ever? But here's the question, Josh. But
with metal, that's not the case.
But when you're with your lady friend, though, do you put the Goatwhore on? Is she getting down to Goatwhore with you?
Some of them do.
Do they really?
Some of them do get down to Goatwhore. Some of them really like being at Goatwhore concerts, in fact. I would not refer to any of them as goat whores.
Right, that's what I was going to say. It seems too obvious.
But, music is a very broad thing, open to a lot of interpretation. It's a form of art. And I love all the extreme metal stuff because of the diligence it takes to play it, the skill. Like I was just about to, I was saying, there's a lot of DIY punk that became very famous that they weren't really that good. I mean, they made songs that were catchy and that moved you, and really that's all that matters. I don't care if you're playing a 2-string guitar, but you make a song that just, I love it.
Right.
You love it. If you get a feeling from it, it's all good. It counts. Even if it's only one person, so what?
Right.
But metal guys, no, you can't go out into metal and suck. You can't be less than, you got to be more than proficient to play metal when it comes to the guitar work, when it comes to drumming. You need to be good. And not only are the best bands usually, not only are they good, they're on a whole nother level. These people have been practicing their instruments all their life. And that's not a euphemism.
No, on the flip side of this, though, are they fans of you? I mean, how tight? I mean, so do you guys have this kind of thing that where you feed off?
Well, not everybody in metal's of a fight fan.
No, I'm
tell you that
saying
much.
that they're a fight fan, but
a fan of me as a person.
Well, yeah, and just of what you do, though. I mean, do they see
Karyn? Really. I mean, who wouldn't be a fan of me? These eyes, this face.
This is a Blues Brothers moment. The car wouldn't start. Right? Remember when he's
I'm very sincere in when I deal with all the people in my life, and I've grown to create a very strong and real rapport with all those around me. I really genuinely and sincerely take into account everybody's feelings and their thoughts on everything. I want them to be a part of this grand adventure that we call life. And therefore, people just have a very easy time of wanting to be around me and getting to know me and feeling very comfortable and relaxed, just like you do right now. And that's okay, because you're welcome here.
All are welcome. That was really nice. That was a nice moment. It's a really.
That's
really
what I
nice
think
moment.
about you.
Do you like your fans? Do you have good fans?
I'd like to kill them all.
Some fighters talk to us about, like, the fans are really cool, and sometimes they're great, but they don't know when they're not supposed to cross the line or something like. Do you get a lot of guys that just want to, like, hang out with you and buy you beers and stuff like that, or are your fans more fans of your wrestling? Are they fans of both things? What are your fans like?
I got fans that bury bodies for me in the desert. I got fans that.
Nice try.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Do you have good fans?
I've got great fans. I think I have some of the best fans because not only have they been through some really horrendous stuff as a fan of mine, but you got to be a person that can take all that comes at you. And I'm not a person that I'm not just following this diehard line of, hey, I'm a fighter, I'm this athlete that almost does nothing else, and by the way, the only other things that I'm involved in are the things that everybody likes anyways.
Right.
So there is absolutely nothing controversial or interesting or out of off the beaten path about me. No. I like all the same generic crap that you like. I watch all the same generic crap that you do, and I watch all the same generic sports that you do and say all the generic crap that you would say. So, of course, I'm Mr. Super Accessible.
Right.
And I think I make a good job of making myself and everything that I'm about accessible. because I'm into a lot of off-kilter stuff, like all the extreme metal, and but also the comic and the nerd portion of it. The automobile side of things, road racing and drift and drag racing and everything that comes with all of that, and music and art, and I know I already touched on music with the metal stuff, but I love music
in general. I know.
Music.
Well, we've talked a lot about music.
It's a lot of varied interests, some that are more easily accessible than others, and some that are very out of left field.
So with that being said, though, is it hard to be a Josh Barnett fan then?
No, I don't think so. No. I think it's pretty easy to be a Josh Barnett fan because I do have something pretty much for everyone. But also, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm never going to steer you in a direction that I don't believe in. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you about music that I don't completely enjoy and support and follow. I'm not going to tell you to go to an art exhibit that I don't back. Right. I'm never going to tell you to go to a restaurant if I don't think their food is good. I'm never going to do anything like that because I don't believe in being insincere that way. I don't. So I want to bring the best parts that I want to share with this world out to them, and you just got to be open, not only to accepting that, but also open to seeing new things and being a part of stuff.
Well, now with everybody thinking that if you win the tournament, you can get invited back to the UFC, people are also saying that persona that you just articulated is the reason why you wouldn't be back there. Because? Well, just that you're not a team player on some things.
I am my player. Yeah. And but I'm absolutely a team player in that I probably do more press than anybody else.
Yeah.
You've
been schlepping the last week.
With any organization I'm with, I go above and beyond being a mouthpiece for the things that I'm involved in. And I think I'm pretty good at reaching markets that a lot of other fighters can't. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of value that way. But also, I'm not just going to take anything that anyone gives me. Mm-hmm. I don't sit. I know what I'm worth, and I know that I have a lot of value in just who I am. So I'm also not in need.
Right.
I'm not a needy guy.
Not a needy guy.
No. If we can hang out, we can cuddle a little bit.
I was just going to say the ladies.
But you can have your space.
Yeah. Good. God, that's important. That's important.
Yeah.
Is there anybody in the UFC you would like to fight?
All of them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing is, people also say it's kind of ironic that the guys that either lost in the Grand Prix or got, when the division moved.
Glad for them to go
that they're there and you're not even there yet. So.
But you know what?
But we shouldn't cry for you, though, right?
No, because guess what? None of them are there yet. I'm there. I am here.
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier is trying to get here. All of them over there, they need to get where I'm at. I don't need to go to them. Yeah. They're running around, toiling, fighting amongst each other. It's just like a giant pool of incest. So they can go on boo-fooing each other all they want, but none of that's going to matter until they step in the ring with me. So have at it, scrap it out. You can fight for all the little scraps and pieces of leftovers. Mm-hmm. Go for all. You fight for that chicken bone all you want. But when you want to step up to the real dinner table, then you're gonna have to sit at the table with me, and I'm the head of that table. And I'm going to decide whether you get there or not. I'm also going to make it a very short trip. So fight it out. Polish your trinkets. Think that you've gotten somewhere, and then step in the ring with me, and then I'll show you just how far you've gotten, and I'll show you just how far you're going to fall.
I like that. I'm going to be watching. I'll be in Vegas for the big heavyweight show. I'm going to look at those people.
Go for it. They can do all they want to do. And you know what? There's some great fighters there. Great individuals.
I think JDS is a good fighter.
Sure.
Frank Mir, good fighter. I mean, these guys
are all good fighters. Yeah. You can go ahead and you can look at their accolades. You can look at what they've done.
Yeah.
And by all means, they should all be very proud of that.
Yeah.
And people should respect them for that. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So I don't care. It's not going to improve my cost of living. No. It's not going to do anything for me.
Right.
All I care about is putting another head on the wall.
Nice. Look at you. I was talking about whether or not you get it on with Goathor, but are you currently single? You got a lady friend these days?
No, I'm single.
You are?
Super single guy. I'm
Looking at bingo.
not really the easiest guy to date in the world.
You think?
For numerous reasons.
I wonder why.
Well, okay, tell me. I'd like to get something straight from the lady's mouth.
No.
What would make me so difficult, other than, my hair looks like shit right now?
Well, I think in general it would be difficult for anybody to date a professional athlete, first and foremost. And I think the fighter thing.
Look, man, I will completely vouch for that. Anytime anybody's ever come to me and go, "Oh, I don't date athletes," I go, "I don't blame you."
Yeah.
I don't either. I've been there. I have seen the things that happen, and look, you ain't gonna believe me. I could tell you,
right.
But it's better you just don't know. Is your cell phone on?
No. That's just the camera. That's the camera.
Oh.
No.
It's very professional, Miss Bryant.
No, of course.
No, thank God. I mean, you didn't have, your cell phones were so big back in the MTV days, you wouldn't have that hanging around under the desk.
Here we go. Yeah.
Motorola Flip. This is the greatest thing ever. So, no, of course, professional athletes by nature.
So, yes,
you're right, ladies. They're all POSs in terms of being man whores. Although, one thing I'm going to say about this. All man whores I know, all the guys or girls are like, "Oh, he's gross. He's sleeping with people." All end up sleeping. I'll get all the most tail. Because you know what? Because deep down, ladies, there's something about it that goes, there's some reason he's getting all this tail.
Well, and I'm not.
And they go for it.
Well,
because if the men wouldn't be man whores, if women wouldn't feed into it. And I'm not saying anything bad about ladies. It's just like, don't throw a fit and complain about that guy who's such a slut and then go sleep with him.
I hear you on that. I've seen firsthand, in even some of the most unlikely fighters that you would think that, maybe are not the most handsome or the most talented either or whatever. And I have seen ladies throw themselves at these guys just because they're, UFC fighter or whatever. If I may, the appeal of a man whore might be that he could be good at what he does.
Although that necessarily does not compute.
It doesn't necessarily.
Just having been in the ring many times doesn't actually make you a good fighter.
I'm just saying that a lady might.
There are a few people. There's actually more than a few people you can go out and look up on SureDog, of all things, and look at their records like, wow, this guy's got 70 fights.
Yeah.
He's lost 3/4 of them. Do you think he's going to give you a G-spot orgasm? Probably not. He probably doesn't even know where that is. He doesn't care.
It
hasn't stopped him before, and it's not going to stop him for the next 32 of them.
Because of that me-first attitude that people take into the ring.
Oh, that same guy, that's the same kind of guy that gets out there, and throws down, but he just keeps getting his butt kicked constantly because he doesn't train.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even sure which line we're talking about now.
It sort of blurs, doesn't it?
It does blur. So, Josh, life is good for you, though, yeah? I mean...
Yeah, well, and I've got a super busy life. Yeah. I've got a very hectic schedule, and...
if you win, you have one more fight for Strikeforce, right? Mm-hmm. Have they even toyed with any ideas of who that could be?
Now we're talking about toys?
Oh, no.
I mean...
No, we're not.
I guess, whatever's clever. I mean, it's more about how you use yourself in the room, more than what you bring with you. I mean... the most amazing gadget ever. If you don't have the swagger to pull it off, it just doesn't count. Oh.
I'm talking about professional fighting this time. I moved on from that.
I was talking about professionals too.
Professionals, exactly. But everybody's gone. The heavyweight division has left the building.
They ran running. They were all scared to death.
So is somebody trying to say that eventually you'll get to fight Fedor finally?
No.
No.
Nobody's saying anything.
Would you want that fight still?
Whatever.
Well, I mean, you say whatever, but I know at one point that was a fight you really wanted that meant a lot to you.
Yeah.
So does it still, is my question.
All fights mean everything to me. That's the thing. Because you have to win them. Yeah. And if they don't mean everything to you, well, I don't know what's more important than somebody trying to completely kill you and break your bones and smash your face in front of everybody. Yeah. Make a very serious dent in your ability to grab said tail we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
So I don't worry about that. Yeah. And right now, I got a very quality opponent in front of me who wants to do just that.
Yeah.
So I can't concern myself with all the rest of that. Mm-hmm. And at some point, someone will figure something out, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Till then, I have one mission, one goal, one vision.
Wait a minute. What is that from? Shoot. I'm being tested. One vision, one. No, all I can think of now is one love. No, I know it's different. It's not one vision. Help me out, people. Which one is it? You have to give me a hint.
There can only be one.
Oh well, that's the yeah. There's only what I'm the Duncan McClan from the Clan MacLeod, right? Okay, so it's oh god, this is just on TV the other night too. Oh my god, what is it? Wait, tell me again. I forget. I'm Duncan MacLeod from the Clan MacLeod, and there can only be one. Not lightning bolt thrower. Highlander, right? Highlander. Okay. I never really got into the Highlander series.
No, but there's an album that is considered essentially the soundtrack to Highlander by who?
It's not like Queensryche or something, is it?
It's got Queen in it.
Queen. Oh, well, okay. Well, Queen then. Okay. No.
Yeah, Some Kind of Magic has the song One Vision on it.
Right. Okay.
And remember the whole News of the World.
Yes, right. I did.
So
do you know when I met Brian?
My Queen.
Your Queen reference, and I actually met Brian May not too long ago, and I told him that I taught my daughter how to break down a song into verse, chorus, verse, and I used Queen songs. And that was like the coolest thing. So now you ask my daughter what part of the song we're in. She, I think we're in the bridge. And it's fantastic because Queen songs.
She's like, I love Fat Bottom Girls.
Girls told me. She wanted to ride on her bicycle once we got home from that car ride. But, you know. I know. I'm trying to think of where to go next.
Did she sit back and ask you about, like, what the hell's an ogre battle?
Well, I just, I see the Bohemian Rhapsody is too obvious. I can't work that one in there. Well, you know, shoot, what was the other one? I was just, Fat Bottom Girls is the best one.
I know.
That's the thing. That's the best one. Now it just takes me into thinking
about it doesn't matter how much you struggle with this, you're still my best friend.
Oh, thanks, Josh. I'm telling you, I'm going to buy you that book. It's fantastic. Fargo Rock City. Well, listen, Josh is fighting Daniel Cormier on Saturday night. We definitely know he's going to show up. We don't know if the style profiles are going to match each other, and if I have a feeling they're actually not going to be going out after that night. I have a feeling.
You know, I think they will. All things considered, we're both professionals.
Yeah.
We have a lot of respect for each other, and I'll break fourth wall here and then just drop it all. You know, Daniel Cormier is a great guy. I hope maybe even in the future we could get together on some projects to help bring wrestling to further audiences.
Right.
I can bring catch wrestling over to his arsenal, and also to spread to the wrestling community.
You guys are having a hard time right now. The wrestling community programs getting cut and everything.
No, it's really difficult, and we don't. There's too much to go into with it, but I told a really good friend of mine when that Mega Millions went up to 370, 390 million, I said, if I won Mega Millions, which I played, of course, I said, if I won this, of course I would take the immediate payoff, because who can trust an economy to be able to pay you out and then
of course not.
over the length of however long that is. I said that one of the absolute first things I do is go march up to the University of Washington athletic director's office, kick the door down, and give him a check for $1 million and say, you're going to have a wrestling program again, and by the way, here's $100,000 guaranteed over the next 5 years every year, and you're going to have a women's one too. So there's equality for you.
That'd be amazing.
And the University of Washington is now going to have a serious Division I wrestling program again, like it needs to, like it should, and there'd be a nice outlet for all these amazing wrestlers in the Pacific Northwest to go to the University of Washington and ply their trade and get the most out of it, get an education, and further their wrestling careers. So I think wrestling is incredibly important as a sport. It's the oldest sport, you know. So it's very important, and I like Daniel a lot. You know, everybody's my enemy who's not behind me in the ring, so there is that. But after all said and done, I don't know what he's doing for his after party. I hope he comes to mine, regardless of the outcome, and he sits down with my people and brings his with him, and everybody, you know, drinks for the, you know, as they. Well, there's a line it's biblical where it says, "And he who shed his brother shall be my friend." So, or something like that. And anyways, I'm not necessarily saying there's anything biblical about it, but
I know, but
you know, if he's going to go in there and shed blood with me, we can drink to that.
Right on. Although the invite made it look like it was a clothing optional party. Did you see? You can't see your shorts or anything.
Of course not.
Of course flyer.
Not.
It's just
it's always that.
Naked from the waist up, and there's like some flames.
I did not make it.
Listen, dude, that looks like that party could be hosted at Rawhide or at whatever the coolest bar. I mean, like that's an either or. You could go either way. Party.
I'm not familiar with those bars, but
you know what I'm talking about.
The Blue Oyster.
You know,
exactly. Someone grabbed an image that I had, and of course everyone wants like the fight type stuff.
Right.
Fine.
It's a nice picture of you.
whatever.
No, I appreciate what you said. I'm sure Daniel does too, and I really do hope that wrestling, like you said, can stay alive and everything, because it's international, it's universal, it's the oldest. I mean, and it is so important.
It's the one sport my kids, male or female, are going to have to do.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't have to do it for life, but just they have to spend some time, get on the mats, learn what it means to be a wrestler, and all that comes with being a part of a team and yet being an individual. Which I think there's no other sport that really prepares you for life more than wrestling.
Nice. Well, good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
I know you put on a show. It's going to be great. Josh Barnett and Daniel Cormier, the finale of the Strikeforce Grand Prix.
Now, all you fat bottom girls, be sure to come to my after party.
Yes.
We need dancers. You can ride your bicycle home if you're too drunk. I think that'll work out all right.